Hello and welcome to the September edition of Community Connect, brought to you by the Marshall Area Chamber of Commerce. This month we have two guests. Two guests are from Runnings. Travis Boehnke is a store manager at Runnings here in Marshall. Dennis Jensen is the Director of Marketing and E-commerce for Runnings at the corporate office. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
As always, let's kind of kick off what's going on, what happened in August, and wow, what a month of August. Very exciting. National Night Out actually started the month. And if you remember back, if you weren't there, it's probably because it's way too hot. It was a little bit lighter attendance and extremely hot weather that night. When I went with my daughter, I think we were just kind of walking around and we were sweating and it was just that hot. Nonetheless, thanks to all the first responders that did still come and put in their time for that night. And thanks to everybody that did attend. The Lyon County Fair was also this past month, and what a show they put on. I was gone for a portion of it, guys. From what I heard, that Friday and Saturday night, Thursday night, the whole time was huge numbers. Were you guys there at all this year?
Yes, Friday I was there for the rodeo, and that was a very good crowd for that.
Yeah, I think what I was told, what helped is that the fact that they have some pretty big bands in the hoop barn. You couple the bands with the hoop barn along with the entertainment at the grandstand. It's going to make for a great night. So thanks to the Lyon County Board for putting on a great show. Thanks to everybody that went to the fair and came to Marshall for that week. Of course, the Sounds of Summer was the week after the fair. It always is the third week of August, and what a show in downtown Marshall. Anywhere from inflatables to the Shades of the Past, of course the parade, a lot of activities. But one thing I kind of wanted to highlight, since our friends from Runnings are here, is that big semi-truck that was in the main area right on College Drive.
Yeah, Brad, so Cassie from Visit Marshall called us up. This was several months ago, and she had this idea of wrapping one of our 53-foot semi-trailers in celebration of Marshall's 150th and Running's 75th. So we kicked it around. We loved the idea. We did it, and that certainly was a crown jewel for the celebration that Runnings was allowed to take part in. So it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great week. Thanks to everybody that came out. Thanks a lot to all the planners, because not only was there planners for the 150th, but almost like all the subcommittees, because there was a fashion show on that Thursday night, and there was a whole lot of activities that went on in downtown Marshall. Of course, that was a busy week for Marshall because, right here on campus, a lot of the students moved back. So it was a busy time for Marshall. Between the fair and the Sounds of the Summer, record crowds both each week. So thanks to everybody that stuck around. I know a lot of people like to leave town during weekends, but thank you to everybody that came and stayed in town those 2 weeks. Finally, the Chamber hosted an open house on the 31st. We moved on November 1st of last fall. And we actually went back to a location where we were very familiar with. Actually, the Chamber used to be at 317 West Main Street eight years ago, and then there was another business in there for a number of years, and then we came back. So thanks to everybody that came to our open house, 317 West Main Street. If you didn't make it, you're always welcome to stop on in. We have a lot of material. This time of the year, we get a lot of requests for relocation information for people that are moving here. So if you need that kind of information, feel free to stop in. So again, this month's guests are Dennis Jensen. He is, as I mentioned earlier, the Director of Marketing and E-commerce. Travis Boehnke is the store manager at Runnings here in Marshall. Again, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you.
So 2022, as I mentioned earlier, it's a pretty big milestone for Runnings. Dennis, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we'll kind of go back in our memory bank all the way back to 1947. There was a gentleman by the name of Norman Red Running, and he opened the very first Running store on Main Street. I think it's where Johnson's Paint and Wallpaper Center is now. So that was originally opened up by Red as a paint store, and they did some hardware and they slowly got into some farm. But if our math is correct, so 1947, 2022, that's 75 years. So it's our 75th anniversary. And we really liked it. It's super exciting, but also on top of Marshall's 150th, it really meant a lot to us to be able to celebrate in parallel with the city. So had a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. 1947, that's awesome. Yeah. I keep hearing about Red Running, so it's good to hear from you, too. Hear his name from you as well on that. So speaking of 1947, what do you think has helped Runnings achieve the success they have had since opening the first store. Travis, you have a little bit more direct contact. How about what do you think about that?
A lot of it has to do with the people involved, the people in our store locations, the connection they can develop with the customers. You can't find that in a lot of spots anymore. So that's a big part of it. A lot of it too is the selection, the product selection that we carry in our locations. We can special order stuff. We can fulfill a lot of the customers' needs that other people can't.
So the evolution of Runnings. I mean, I remember growing up in Marshall, it used to be called Runnings Big R. It has had probably a few different names. So let's talk about the evolution as being recognized as a farm store for so many years to now being a destination. Because when I go in there, first thing I see is this big whopping selection of candy, huge clothes selection, massive for dog and cat feed as well as other animals. Just talk about that evolution a little bit.
Yeah, so once the company opened up, then it remained auto supply, and it evolved into getting in more and more farm, because certainly farm is our foundation. It always will. In the mid '80s, Dennis Reed came in as a partnership, and he worked his way into the company. In the mid '80s, he actually bought it. So Dennis Reed and his wife Adele and their family own the company now. And I think along with that came this evolution where customers were coming in our doors, and they're asking for more than farm. They're saying, hey, what about sporting goods? What about clothing and footwear and hardware and plumbing? So we've turned from farm and auto to it's kind of one-stop shop for everyone. And we hear that all the time, one-stop shop, but we do believe Runnings is a destination for just about everything you need, home, farm, and outdoor. I mean, they say if what's the old thing where if it's not been, or if it hasn't been made, or it's not at Runnings or something like that.
Sure.
Help me out. Can you guys help me out here? I'm trying to.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
If it's been made, it's at Runnings.
Yeah.
Or if we don't have it, you don't need it.
There you go.
There
Trav.
you go.
Just like that. See, that's what I was searching for.
Yeah. Now we're all loosened up. Now we get that figured out.
But
right?
yeah, so the evolution is there, and we even talk in our meetings that there's still residents in Marshall and around Marshall that don't know that they can walk into a running store in Marshall and grab a pair of designer jeans or a blouse or a nice pair of footwear. We offer jewelry. So not only is it a man's store, it's definitely a woman's store as well.
Yeah, I love going to Runnings. It is like a one-stop shop. It's definitely on my list to go to on Black Friday every single year. Travis, Runnings positions their store managers to be a face of the company in each of their communities. I know that there's a training process. So Travis, again, you're the store manager. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your history with the company of Runnings.
Sure, definitely. Me and my better half, Stephanie, have lived in Marshall here for just coming up on 4 years now. We have 2 little girls at home, Avery and Zoe. So earlier this year, I celebrated my 20th anniversary with Runnings in multiple different locations. We recently came here, or not recently anymore, 4 years ago, came here from Montrose, up by the cities. Originally born and raised in Fulda, so just a little bit down the road from there. Stephanie works at Avera here in town. Yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Yeah, so your history with Runnings, though, it goes back 20 years. How about some of those other places you've been at, and where did you do your training at?
Sure, yeah, so I started in high school working in Worthington, went on to college in Brookings for a few years, went back to Worthington after college, took an assistant manager position in Monticello, a new location for us, around 2014, then went on to Litchfield in 2015, back to Monticello, and then down to Marshall in 2018.
Yeah, we're glad you're here, and we hope
Yes.
that you stay a long time.
Yes.
And Brad, we use Travis's story a lot when we talk about a career at Runnings, because I mean, look at this guy. He started at one level, and he's worked his way through the company and established himself now as a district manager and a store manager. So that speaks a lot too. It's not just a job; it's a career. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
pretty proud of the guy.
Absolutely, yeah. Another question. So, and maybe both of you can touch on this one. So much retail competition these days. How does Runnings differentiate themselves from all the other retailers out there trying to get their share of the wallet?
We get the question a lot,
Yeah.
and the question that we get from customers is, you got these other folks out there. How do you try to beat them? And we don't focus on that. We always think it's a pretty big sandbox. And Runnings wants to worry about our own little corner of the sandbox. We want to make sure we're doing what we need to do to get customers to shop us. And our owner, Dennis Reed, says, you can buy stuff from anyone you want, but you're always going to buy again and again from people you like. So we just try to be folks that you can trust and have a good relationship with, and certainly find what you need.
Yeah, customer service is a big part of what we do. We try to make sure every customer that comes in the door every day gets taken care of like we'd want to be taken care of, and whatever they need, we can get it for them. So we just focus on the customer, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, a lot of people are happy with the customer service. One more question for you. I bet the listener or the watchers out here will be surprised where your market is. Obviously, we're in Southwest Minnesota here. We touch in South Dakota. But there's that wild card up in Northeast United States. Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So it was in 2015 when our owner came to us and said, guess what, we're going to New York. And the first thing we thought is, Times Square, a running store, it just doesn't seem to fit. But we are in the upstate part of New York, and we've also expanded out from there. So we've got more than 10 stores in New Hampshire, New York, and Connecticut. It's definitely, it has the ingredients that make up for a nice runnings customer in terms of they got weather, they got animals, they got the outdoor lifestyle, and we've had a really positive response since we've opened the first door of our New York store out there. So.
Yeah, some nice gaps out.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a gentleman's agreement with some of the other, farm stores out there, and it just seemed to be a good gap for runnings to come in. So.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks a lot for being here.
Yep. One thing we want to do, Brad, is give you our 75th anniversary.
Right on.
We brought you a T-shirt here. So
I like it.
That's for you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated, and thank you, Dennis and Travis, and thanks for everything for you do for Marshall. Runnings is a great partner here in Marshall. You see Runnings everywhere. They're active with our Chamber of Commerce. So thanks again for all that you do. Let's talk about a few things here that we look forward to here in September. One thing that's already kind of kicked off are the Tigers and Mustangs. This upcoming Saturday is Egg Bowl. Egg Bowl is a huge day in the afternoon during the SMSU football games from 2 to 5. There's going to be a lot of activities, very heavily egg central out there in the right here on campus. So good luck to all the sports teams. Of course, Tigers kicked off last week with football and volleyball. Actually, the last few weeks is swim. So good luck to our local teams here. This weekend is also Hopfest, always a fun time with good music that you can count on. Swing out to Brow Brothers on Friday night and Saturday for a good time. So a lot of coming out for a good band and a good time this weekend. The 17th is the annual Craft and Vendor Show put on by the Marshall girls hockey team. Come out to Red Baron that day, do some shopping, some fall shopping. Do you guys ever make it out to those Craft and Vendor shows? There's one in the spring and there's always one in the fall.
I don't, but always Stephanie always.
Yeah, I
seems
bet.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably more.
Yeah.
Probably more her thing. That same evening, this is kind of a neat thing. I love that Marshall hosts this. Is the Pursuit of Excellence. Pursuit of Excellence brings in dozens. I don't know how many. Just a lot, several marching bands throughout the state of Minnesota. It's right here on campus normally. So come on out if you want to see a good time. It is all throughout the night. It's normally right after the SMSU football game. I'm not too sure if they're in town that day or not, but you can certainly count on a lot of people coming into town. If you see some people from out of town, welcome them to Marshall. Open up your arms and welcome them to Marshall. At the tail end of September, and I'm going to talk to you guys about this, Tyler Farr is coming to town. Tyler Farr has had a number of number one hits and is one of the biggest names for quite some time to Marshall. And I remember when I went to college here, somebody by the name of Toby Keith made it to Marshall. I actually have a picture of it with him and I. I can't show it to you on the screen because I forgot to send it over to Alex ahead of time. But hey, trust me, I do have that picture. You guys ever heard Tyler Farr? You guys going to the concert?
Yes.
We will be there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great for Marshall.
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah, it's really good anytime you can bring some national acts to town like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there are tickets still for sale. Go to visitmarshallmn.com and talk to, or call up the visit team and talk to Cassie or Adri. As for chamber events, we have a number of them. Our Women's Connect group is taking a trip to Painted Prairie Vineyard near Curry. Normally the Women's Connect group meets on the second Thursday. They're going next Thursday, the 15th, and they're going to they're going to take some cars and head out to Painted Prairie Vineyard near Curry. So if you've never been there, this is your opportunity. And the final event I want to talk about isn't until October, but I got to put a plug in for it, is the annual Taste of Marshall event. The Taste of Marshall is a chamber event on Monday, October 10th. It'll be one of the final events on the expo floor out of the Red Baron Arena before they put the second sheet of ice down. Tickets are for sale right now, $18 in advance, $20 at the door. Have you guys been to the Taste of Marshall yet?
We have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
Exactly.
$18, and you can sample food all night. Last year we had 20 vendors. Desiree from our staff is shooting for 25. So
Terrific.
come on out. Last year we had just under 400 people attend. 20 vendors. It is worth it. It's worth the price of admission. A lot of vendors will have something that they normally don't have on the menu. So please come out and support our vendors, our restaurant vendors. Last year, guys, we had 7 vendors from outside of Marshall. I mean, we had Painted Prairie Vineyard. We had Mr. B's Chocolates come down from Wilmer. We had a lot of people coming in. We had Holmberg Orchard there. So a lot of different reasons to come on out on Monday night, October 10th. So. All right, so all these events can be found on our website, marshallmn.org. The visit website is visitmarshallmn.com. So yet another busy month of September coming up. Guys, thanks so much for being here, being our guest.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do for Marshall and Marines, what they do for Marshall. Next month is Fire Prevention Month, and I'm excited to have Fire Chief Quentin Brunsvold will be coming back as my guest. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next month.